This is the Holy Shekel Crypto Gematria report for Friday, July 3rd, 2026, which is the 18th day of Tammuz, 5786, and it's at 3:38 p.m. Israel Standard Time, Jerusalem Standard Time. I think it's all of Israel at the same time. So this is for Litecoin. Litecoin is the coin of Friday, according to the Holy Shekel crypto gematria formula or system. Litecoin is associated with Friday, and there are three different country currencies that are given for the Litecoin. That is USD, US dollars, New Israeli shekels, and euro. And I forgot to say, the parsha of the week is Parshas Pinchas. Pinchas is the name of this week's Torah portion. And the Daf Yomi is Chulin, Daf 64, Samach Dalet 64. Okay, and the Litecoin price in US dollars is $43.48. And there's different methods of interpreting and doing this report. There was methods of getting a list of words, Hebrew, English words, and getting their gematrias. And then there was another idea that said, whatever is known right now, without looking. And I think that's the method that I'm going to do right now. So when I look at the number 4348, or this could be an interactive thing, like an open source. I'm open to that. It's not all about my experience, because the idea behind this this report is to bring value to the crypto market by offering gematriatic interpretations of the prices. So I don't think there's any one person that knows enough to say they know all of the numerical values of every word. So it might be good for this to be an open source thing where people contribute to their knowledge of gematria, the prices, to develop a more to bring forth a more accurate read. But based on what I know right now, Litecoin is $43, and the question is, what does that mean? Why is it $43 today? The first thing that comes to mind is that it's the 43rd day of the Omer. And you might say, what does that mean? We're not even in the Omer right now. But if you count the Omer from when you start counting the Omer, like everyone starts on the 16th day of ER, the second day of Passover, you get to 43 days, and then Shavuot comes, and you start counting again the Omer from Shavuot being the first day. So then that would bring us to 43. If you do that, so for several years I was counting the Omer all around the year, and so today would be the 43rd day of the Omer, and I'm not sure what that means, but that's what it is. You can look at whatever the 43 would be, like starting Malchut, the week of kingship. Like throughout the Omer, you come to kingship. Oh, now it comes to mind, 43 comes to mind, the 43rd journey. Now there are no 43rd, there's only 42 journeys of the Israelites in the wilderness, but 43rd represents coming into Israel. That's the ultimate journey. That could be today. Also 43 is Cain in ordinal Hebrew gematria. So Cain is 43. Esav is 43, not in regular gematria. Regular gematria, Cain is 160, and Esav is 376, and Reuven is 259. But if you do ordinal means Aleph is 1, Bet is 2, and you just go by 1. So ordinal until Taf, which is 22. So you just go like Yud is 10, Kaf is 11, Lamed is 12. If you do that up until 22, it's called Mispar Siduri, then 43 would equal Cain, the firstborn son, who was kind of bad. Esav, the firstborn son, was kind of bad. I say kind of because you can go deeper and you can see that it's all part of the plan. But Reuven, I'm not saying he's bad, but in a way, he missed it a little bit. He did some things that kind of, in a way, disqualified himself with Jacob's wife, Bilhah, his maidservant. Jacob's maidservant Bilhah. So 43 can represent the firstborn sons that are a little bit off. At the same time, the firstborn sons bring a lot of initiative and energy. Like Cain was the first one to bring a sacrifice, even though he didn't do it exactly right, but he initiated it. He had a creative flair. It was Hevel that improved upon it. And that brings us to, I'm going to jump straight now to the euro. The euro is 37. Litecoin is equal to, usually I go in order, but since I'm on the Cain thing, in euro, Litecoin is 37 euro, 37.98, and 37 equals Hevel. So we have Cain and Hevel right now from the prices. Okay, let's go back to Litecoin in USD. In USD, it's 43.48. 48 is one of the most significant numbers that I use to prove that English Gematria is true. Because 48 equals buy, B-U-Y, like purchase. 48 equals sell, S-E-L-L. 48 equals trade. Buy, sell, trade. They all equal exactly 48 in English Gematria, meaning A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. That, and there are several other ones. Blood is connected to that. Blood is 48 also. And there's a connection. It flows in the bodies, much like the economy. In fact, in Hebrew, damim means money. It's blood also. So today is 43.48. You would take, and Cain, if you go back to Cain, like in regular Gematria, it's 160, which equals kesef, equals money, in regular Gematria. Okay, now let's go to the New Israeli Shekel. 130. 130 is HaKohanim, the priests. This is Litecoin in the realm of New Israeli Shekel. So 130 is Litecoin, the priests. 33 is equal to Achbi. Achbi, it's 130 shekels, and it's 130 shekels and 33 agorot. 33 is Achbi. Achbi is a Gematria cipher that parallels Aleph to Chaf, Bet to Yud. And that cipher, if you do just the letters Aleph, Chaf, Bet, Yud, it equals 33. Chaf and Yud is 30, and Bet and Aleph is 3. And in Achbi, of course, in Achbi, it's also 33 because it just reverses the thing around. Everything has its reverse value. So 33 is so many things. It's the 33rd word in Leviticus, which is Korbano, his sacrifice, which equals 358, Mashiach. The 33rd word in Leviticus, in Vayikra, in Hebrew words, Vayikra, the 33rd word is Korbano, and Korbano equals 358, which equals Mashiach. That's very interesting. And that's for the Israeli shekels, the new Israeli shekels. By the way, in Achbi, Pinchas, this week's parsha equals 386. Hamevin Yavin. And then, now to the euro. I said the euro before in relation to Cain and Abel. So euro is 37.98. And 37 is equal to Hevel, Abel. It's also equal to Yechidah, which is Yechidah is the unique essence of the soul, the highest in the layers of the 5 layers of the Kabbalistic structure of the soul. It's Nefesh, Ruach, Yechidah. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, Yechidah. Nefesh is like the animal soul. Ruach is the spirit or wind. Neshama is a higher level of soul. Chaya is life. It's another part of the soul, even more ethereal, more subtle. And the most subtle, the highest, most sublime is the Yechidah. And that equals 37, which equals Greg in English Gematria, which equals Nick, also in English Gematria, which equals Katie, which equals Rebecca, which equals... Okay, so now we're up to 98. 98 equals vegetable. 98 equals Josh Leon. Josh is 52, Leon is 46, that's 98. And I think that's all for now. This was the Crypto Gematria, the Holy Shekel Crypto Gematria report for Friday, July 3rd, 2026, which is the 18th day of Tammuz, 5786. The Parsha is Pinchas, and the Daf Yomi is Chulin 64. Shabbat Shalom.